Hello, everyone. So finally today I was able to go see The Northman. I've really been anticipating this movie. Sounded amazing when I first heard it was going to be about, and I'm a big fan of Robert Eggers, who of course is the director of this film. And yeah, I've just really been looking forward to it. It looked fantastic from all the trailers, and I was just super hyped for it. It comes in at about 2 hours and 15 minutes long, and it has an amazing cast to it. We have Alexander Skarsgård in the main role. Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, Anya Taylor-Joy, Willem Dafoe is in this. The list goes on and on and on, and it just brings a very impressive cast and, of course, amazing acting to a very, again, anticipated movie. So, without further ado, let me get into my review for The Northman. So, The Northman is an action filled epic that follows a young Viking prince on his quest to avenge his father's murder. So Alexander Skarsgård plays that young boy who grows up to become a Viking who shapes his own destiny, and again is just a vengeance-fueled movie. When he was very young, a force comes into his life that takes his father away from him and takes his life away from him. He was being sentenced to death as his father was, so he runs away and basically swears to himself that he is going to come back to his village one day and kill the people who killed his father and save his mother in the process. And yes, he grows up, becomes a very fierce Viking warrior, and it gets back into his head through many visions that he has that he needs to go back to Iceland and conquer what once conquered him. So, yes, he meets Anya Taylor Joy in his visit back, her character, and they basically hash a plan to free themselves of what took away so much of their lives. So, this being a revenge field story, there's of course some amazing fight scenes that are thrown into this. And my goodness, yeah, they're just absolutely bloody brutal as you expect Viking films to be. And they do get into the Viking life quite a bit and just how brutal this time was. There is just people getting absolutely hacked apart in this movie. Just the most deadly and brutal killing blows you've seen. Children, wives being tossed inside huts and those huts being lit on fire while they're raiding villages. They don't shy away from just how awful and brutal this warfare was, and they really get into the life, and a lot of them too, just how beastly a lot of these Norse tribes were. You see scenes with them taking like berserker mushrooms and pretending that they are like spirits of Fenrir, so they're creatures and gods from Norse mythology to basically give them extra power in battle and just extra fierceness. And this film dives a ton into the culture and the mythology that these people believed in. And a lot of the time, and I know this is going to bother some people when it comes to it, this film isn't exactly accessible if you don't know a lot about Norse mythology or just the ways that these people lived. And it doesn't spend any time really explaining what a lot of these symbols mean. You either know Norse or you don't. So a lot of people could be left behind when they go see this. I went to go see this film with my grandfather, and a lot of the time he had no idea what was going on, and I had to explain some of it to him. But for me, of course, it just embraces the culture that this movie is embedded in, and I loved every single second of it. And I found, to me, it be so clear and just a love letter to what this mythos was about and the history around it too. It was very well told, and it uses again a lot of these elements of mythology to tell its story. So again, if you don't know a lot going into this movie, you're not going to know a lot about what's going on, because again, it uses so much of that to tie its to tell its story. But for people like me or anyone who knows Norse mythology decently well, you're going to love the way that it tells its story through the gods and through the beliefs. This movie too has one of the most amazing soundtracks I've heard in a long time. It is powerful. It booms just as loud as the fights or some of the hits do in this movie. It just absolutely elevates every single scene that you hear it in, whether it be music that they play in the background or the music that the characters are making themselves before they charge into battle while they're tripping out on drugs and trying to connect to the gods themselves and communicate with them or summon something within themselves through the gods. It's damn powerful that they have it that they do in this. And the cinematography is absolutely incredible too. Easily, I want to say the best that I've seen this year. I was so impressed by what they were able to do in the Batman. But there's something special in this in terms of the landscapes or the way that they shoot the fights. Just the scope of the cinematography really plays into the storytelling of this film too. And there's so many, again, like things that they show about them communicating with the gods when they show the Valkyries. The scenes are just absolutely stunning and showing their full glory and just how much they stand out in the sky, no matter how starry it can be. The Valkyries just absolutely shine. The battle scenes in this too are absolutely fantastic, especially the last one. And I want to say this too. They don't outright say it, but it seems like this character's journey goes through a bunch of the realms of Norse mythology. And the last film seemed like it was in Muspelheim, and it was just damn near special. It was incredible, just again the scope of everything in this movie, and just that final battle hits so hard, and the cinematography in that, and again just in every single shot of this film is so amazingly well filmed. And yeah, there's not really a lot that I can knock about the filming in this, and really, like I said, the only things I can take away from how perfect this film is that, again, if you don't know a lot of the Norse mythos, you might be lost in terms of its story. And there's a few things when I was watching it I noticed in the backgrounds that just didn't look right or weren't done too properly. There's during some of the fight sequences, and the main one is Alexander Skarsgård's character scales a wall. He's killing a guy, and in the background you see one of the Norse, basically one of the tribesmen he's with, knock someone down and go for a killing blow, and you obviously see the axe miss where he's supposed to hit. It just goes into the wood by him. There's another one too where he's sharpening his axe on like a smithing stone, and like he's actually not physically doing it. You just see it kind of hovering over top of the smithing stone. Little things like that again just kind of look at a place when they're doing it. But those are really the only two that I saw. And again, it doesn't take anything away from the grand picture of this movie. Everything else about it is just absolutely perfect. I know my grandfather said at one point that he thought that some of the sound effects and soundtrack kicked in a little too loud to hear things sometimes, but I personally didn't feel that. Again, the soundtrack in this was absolutely amazing, and it just bolstered every single thing that they had in it. And yeah, just the way this movie was filmed and the way it told its story and the brutality that was in it. Again, the sacrifices and just basically how they summon the gods and bring it in, that kind of typical Robert Eggers style where there's higher powers and a lot of spirituality within his films is definitely in it in this one, but it is a lot more accessible than his other movies, being The Lighthouse or The Witch. This one has a lot that most everyone is going to be able to enjoy. And just the way that this was filmed too, and the way it told its story is, anyone who's played the game Ghost of Tsushima should know that they are coming out with a movie based around it. And if they show and shoot and kind of tell the story the way that this film did, I think that movie is going to be absolutely incredible. And I do feel like this is going to be a movie that a lot of directors look at in terms of telling these big, like trotting epic saga adventures. Because yeah, just the way that everything is done in this is easily one of the best films of the year. It was damn near incredible, and I really want to go back and see it as soon as I absolutely can. I recommend it to just about anyone. Yeah, just absolutely special and incredible. It's easily my favorite film by Roberts, and I can't wait to see what he does next. But the performances in this are absolutely incredible. Anya Taylor-Joy is amazing. Nicole Kidman has a scene where she is terrifying in it, and the scripting and just the line delivery from everyone is super incredible. Alexander Skarsgård is a monster in this film. He's just rage incarnate. And again, too, just the backdrops in it really, like the locations that they go to, fill in perfectly with Norse mythology, and also to just do so much to add so much tension, life, to the world that they're in, and just life to the story. It's absolutely incredible. So again, with everything taken together, this is easily going to be, I do think this is going to be a top three. Could even be number one right now. I really have to think about this between the Batman and Everything Everywhere All at Once. But the Northman is a 10 out of 10 score for me. Absolutely incredible. And it's something that, again, I don't think this movie is going to be for everyone, but I really want people to get into it. Norse mythology has some amazing stories within it, and this uses that mythos to tell an amazing story about revenge and really just how it affects everyone involved in the plot of someone who's doing revenge, themselves, their family. It's just very incredibly told, and I was hooked to the screen through the entirety of its runtime, through the music, the amazing acting, the brutal fight scenes. It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So if you've seen The Northman, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. And if you like this review, definitely give it a thumbs up. And you can check out everything I do through my channel through our playlist down below. And for convenience sake, I'll link some up top here. Thank you for subscribing and clicking that bell so you know when I upload new videos. If you want to check out everything I do Twitch and live stream wise, there's a link to that in the description of this video, and of course my channel bio. And in both of those places, there is a link to the Media Mountain, which is my Discord, where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, pretty much everything that's awesome in this world. So you definitely join that amazing community. That'll make it even more amazing than it is already. And yes, please, please, please go check out The Northman. My theater today was just way too unfilled, too many in seats, and this deserves a lot of your time. It's incredible. And yeah, just awesome, guys.